All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Elite Racing Network, live on YouTube for the Mark J. Rebilas photography series. Going live tonight for 175 laps from Nashville Fairgrounds. Should be an interesting race, winding up here on the playoffs. Don't have Bobby with me tonight. Tonight, working with me up here in the booth is Carlos. You might hear him from time to time, but he is producing. Carlos, you excited to be in here tonight?
I sure am. It's my second time covering you guys. First time with the Grand National Series, and I haven't really seen too much of Nashville Fairgrounds, so it should be a fun experience overall for me. First time seeing this track in action, but right now we got qualifying.
Yeah, we got qualifying going on right now. Lots of spins here I was seeing. Got Scott Crump out here. That's a guy that's always a threat to run up at the front of these short tracks. We see him at Richmond, Bristol. He's able to keep the right front tire on it. He threw away his first lap. He's going to come off of turn 4 here. Looks like a solid lap. And top of the board there. No surprise there to see Scott Crump go to the top of the board. His teammate Tyler Fody is going to come off of turn 4 now as well. Going to go to second. Pretty good looking night for Lake Norman. Chad Frankenfield spins out on his second lap, so he's going to start at the back. Not sure who we have left to run. I don't think Gerald Campbell's ran yet. He's out here right now.
What a beautiful scheme he's got.
Yeah, he's coming off 4 a little bit loose. See if he can be better here on lap 2. It looks like everybody was picking up on lap 2. If he picks up just a couple tenths, he'll be right there. Really loose off of turn 2. Not sure if he was able to keep any speed there down the backstretch or not. We'll find out here in about 2 seconds if he was. He picks up a little bit. Jumps from 15th to 8th, maybe. Garrison Hogan just went up to P5. Ethan Stanley just jumped up to first. Lake Norman's going to go 1, 2, 3. Great start for those guys tonight after last night. Fody led a lot of the early laps last night in the truck race at Knoxville and lost it late on a restart. And this is the last race in the regular season. I said winding down the regular season earlier, thinking we had one more left, but this will be the last race in the regular season. Fody comes into tonight as the point leader. He is locked in. So it looks like our front 5 are going to be Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, Tyler Fody, Kean Raleigh, and Garrison Hogan. Some guys to watch from the back. Chad Frankenfield, who spun out there in qualifying, is going to come from 20th. Jonathan Cutlip, always good on the long runs, going to come from 18th. Joe Francis, the winner last night at Knoxville, going to start 16th. Jeff Green's going to roll off 14th back through there. Gerald Campbell, we saw him jump up there to P8. So, based on what you've seen so far tonight, Carlos, you got a pick to win this thing?
I sure don't. I barely seen anything. It's been kind of hectic, but going in blind might just be fun as a producer slash somewhat of a commentator slash fan, or getting into being a fan. So it'll be fun to see how these guys can do. I'm gonna pick a random number, and I'm gonna random driver, and I'm gonna say they're gonna win. I'm gonna choose Garrison Hogan.
Not a bad pick there, Garrison Hogan. He's gonna have to try to battle through all these Lake Norman guys. I'm telling you, I think Ethan Stanley's a guy that's he started the season off real hot and hasn't been great through the middle part of the season. Hasn't had the finishes he's wanted, whether it's been strategy or late race incidents. So like I mentioned, Scott Crump, he's our short track ace over here. He's always good at these short tracks. Can't count Tyler Fody anywhere. And Garrison Hogan typically starts at the back, qualified tonight. So Garrison, I think, is a good pick. I think if anybody's going to go beat those Lake Norman cars, it's going to be Garrison. No Matthew Weeks tonight either. No Matthew Weeks, no Josh Adams, who is getting better. Talked about it last week. Josh Adams spent some time in the hospital, and he is healing up very nicely. Hope to see him back on the racetrack, maybe before the end of the season. We'll have to see. But I made you make a race pick, so I think I'm going to go ahead and have to make mine. I am going to take Scott Crump, the short track ace.
All right, he's not a bad choice. I've seen him run around a couple times before.
Now we have to come up with an over-under on the cautions here. What are you thinking? It's 175 laps. We're thinking over-under 9 cautions?
I am thinking under 9 cautions.
I'll take the over. I've seen some of these elite races get pretty crazy.
I think,
and all the cautions have
they're
to come
due.
somewhere.
I think they're due to have a clean race tonight.
Well, the pace car is off. It's going to put the field in control of... Mark Murphy said he's 35 cautions. That's what Mark Murphy just said. Green is out. Good start on the top for Scott Crump. Looks like his teammate will not quite get clear. Scott ran really high down there. Ethan Stanley's going to get clear. Scott Crump leaving Tyler Fody to fight for P3, the first side-by-side battle. It's really hard to get up out of turn 2. You come up out of a ditch, especially if you're on the bottom. Side-by-side for third. Not sure if Fody's going to be able to win this battle. Kean's going to get a good run out of turn 2. Looks like Fuller's going to go to the top. Fuller's going to try to follow Kean right around Tyler Fody. Oh, way sideways for Fuller. That's going to let Fody get moved up.
I'm seeing Vega has an issue. Oh, that might be the first caution. Actually, never mind. He took a tow.
Who was it?
That was the Damian Vega, number 8. I'll go ahead and queue up a little replay here for you guys.
As we take a look here at this replay, looks like he's the last car in line. Just pulled off the wall a good bit there going into the corner. Gets down into the middle, 3 and 4. It's pretty good so far. Way high right here. Did not cut back to the bottom. Just loops it around.
We just gave it a little too much grade and getting back on the gas.
And while we were watching that, everybody is single filed out here at the front.
Yeah, the top 2 drivers have pretty much checked out. Or mostly Ethan Stanley has checked out. Then it's Scott Crump, Kean Riley, Tyler Fody, and Justin Fuller, your top 5. And they're all pretty much single file up until... Well, honestly, it kind of looks like everybody's single file except towards the back, kind of where Hunter Smith and Michael Hosek are racing side by side.
And that's where Chad Frankenfield is. Chad blinking a little bit. And right in front of them, you've got the 91 of Johnny Thomas, sponsored by Belly Up Sports. It was just announced this past week. Belly Up Sports is going to be the official premier partner for the Cup Series next season. So really excited to have them come aboard. We hate to see Join APS go, but it's going to be a lot of fun with Belly Up, getting all those boys to come along. So check out Belly Up Sports. There's a podcast for everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of partnerships that are going to be starting up next season, next year. I've already kind of been hearing a couple things here and there. Maybe things might be in the works for cool events. I say I've seen this paint scheme for Joe a couple times on Twitter.com, and it just makes me smile, and it gives me a good time every time I see that paint scheme.
Yeah, I forgot there, Carlos. You're a little bit of an insider with the Belly Up. What's it like working with those Belly Up guys over there?
Oh, it's always been a pleasure. Listen, it's no secret. Johnny Thomas and I had our issues back when I used to be racing league stuff. A couple years went by, then he contacted me about working with his league and Belly Up Sports, and ever since then it's been a fantastic partnership I've had with Johnny Thomas, a person who actually helped me with my launching my whole producing career. So excited to see Belly Up expand from where they're at and venture out into other leagues, because they're growing a lot, and they're putting out a lot of fantastic shows and podcasts like you mentioned. And while I can't talk about what could be happening next season, let's just say that let's keep our ears open.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of podcasts over there that are going to be on some race cars here coming soon. So a lot of great guys over there. Yeah, a lot of great guys over there. I know Mike helps run the whole operation and whatnot, so it's going to be a lot of fun getting partnered back up with those guys. And I think all these guys in Elite who haven't had the opportunity to race Erska and be part of Belly Up are in for some good things that they had no clue what they have no clue what's coming. As right now, Ethan Stanley just driving away. Scott Crump right there in second. Kean still holding on to third. Fody, so Lake Norman is 3 of the top 4. And you got Justin Fuller, Gerald Campbell. I think Gerald was feeling pretty good about tonight. Talked to him here pre-race, talked to that team down there, and they were feeling pretty good. Gerald seemed like he thought he was going to have a shot to win. Garrison Hogan right behind him, your race pick. Braxton DeWeese, Leighton Norgard, Trey Holmes around out the top 10. You got Trey Eitzen, Jeff Green back there in P12. Brandon Ultra is in the process of losing some spots. I believe Gavin Higgins right there has gotten by him. Johnny Thomas now looking to do the same. So it looks like Ultra might be backing up a little bit. Then you mentioned Joe Francis and his barbecue chips machine. He is looking to get around Brandon Ultra now.
Seems like the bleeding has stopped for him just a little bit, but Thomas is now looking on the inside of Gavin Hibbs. It looks like Thomas will have to check up just a little bit on the inside to not spin out. This track is very rewarding if you can hold a very strong run on the outside line. It'll be hard for drivers to pass you anywhere but the outside. So Hibbs doing his best Ryan Newman impersonation and holding off Johnny Thomas, I'm sure. And Johnny Thomas probably wishing that he could just be let by, considering that we're only 20 laps into this race, in which, may I add, 20 green flag laps into this race.
Yeah, it is not looking good for the 35 cautions that was thrown out there by Mark pre-race. And that over under 9 is even, I think, starting to fall in jeopardy. Ooh, big slide there out of Brandon Ultra. That's going to get him stuck to the bottom. Here comes Joe Francis. Ultra trying to move up there. Can't quite do it. Now, the bad thing is when you're Brandon Ultra backing up on the top, you kind of back up at a pace. But now if you get trapped on the bottom, you're going to back up a lot quicker when you got Hunter Smith coming, Michael Hosick, Jonathan Cutlip, all lined up right there to try to follow Joe Francis.
Yeah, and right now we have multiple battles out on the track at the same time. We're taking a look at a really good battle here for third place with Kean Riley, Tyler Fody, and Fuller, who is just a little bit behind them, but still any one mistake away from being back in this action. As we were also seeing battles, actually, Fody looking to the inside of Kean Riley for that position going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Fody's going to try to make it 1, 2, 3 for Lake Norman. We'll see if he can do it on the bottom. He's moved up a little bit. He's trying to take some racetrack away from Kean, not just have to wrap the bottom. Kean does look like he's struggling getting off the corner a little bit. Maybe Fody saw that. He's trying to make that pass.
Listen, as the tires wear out, everybody's going to be struggling to get off the corners. It's going to be pretty much a matter of how quickly can you get on the gas and be able to stay on the gas, and how long can you hold that as the laps go by and by. As I mentioned earlier, it's my first time seeing these cars in this track race before. I have raced in this track before, but it has not been in this car, so I can't quite predict how the tires are going to wear, but my only prediction is that they are going to wear. This is a wreck in the back. 54 goes around, caution is out.
Sounds like Brandon Ultra is apologizing, so that tells me that there might have been some contact between the two. Taking a look here on the replay. Ultra gets a little wiggle, gets loose. Hossick got some damage. Yeah, Ultra just gets loose there. Turns to 54. Great job by Cutlip. Hossick got some pretty major damage there, I believe, on that 24 car. I did not think that hit was that hard. But, yeah, it's broke the right front suspension on that Michael Hossick machine.
Oh, yeah, you can see it right there, getting right into the back of the 45. I actually missed that initially when we were on the blimp view, as all but 3 drivers have gone down Pear Road, which we will cut back in right now. The 3 drivers who are not in Pear Road is Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, and Johnny Thomas. As Hunter Smith is also staying out, but I think he's just trying to get back on the lead lap. Battle off Pear Road: Ethan Stanley, Scott Crump, Kean Riley, Tyler Fody, Justin Fuller, and Garrison Hogan. Leading it out right now, but the main question is what's going on with these 3 drivers that did stay out?
Well, for Jeff Green and Johnny Thomas being outside the top 10, I like the call. But if you're Gerald Campbell, you did not need to throw this Hail Mary. You're running in 5th or 6th when the caution comes out. I do not like the idea of getting off strategy when you've got the pace to run up towards the front.
I wonder if he missed the sign for Pear Road.
Well, I don't think so, because him and Jeff are teammates, so they probably discussed the strategy. I think Gerald was close enough to the front where he didn't need to do this. But we'll see. That was a long green flag run. I would imagine the right front on these cars is pretty worn out. And you mentioned that Hunter Smith coming down pit road. He said he is done.
Ooh,
so that
yeah.
car must have a good bit of damage. Oh, he did have a meatball there. And there looks like there's smoke rolling out of it as he's sitting there in the pit box. So that Hunter Smith machine is done for the night, for the most part, it looks like. And Joe Francis made a second trip down pit road.
Trying to take a look. Michael Hossack, who we saw did get involved in that damage as well in Pear Road. Damian Vega in Pear Road. He had that earlier spin that did not bring out a caution. I'm not sure why his number is in telemetry is 8, but in here it's a big 0 with a very small 6. It's throwing me off fully.
Yeah, I don't know. What's gonna be interesting here now as we're lining for the restart. How far back do these guys on old tires fall? Because in the races I've done here, this place really chews up tires, so I can't imagine that these guys are going to be able to stay towards the front. This is a lot of times what leads to some pretty nasty wrecks. Pace car's off. Gerald's going to pick the bottom. He's going to have control. Green is out. Oh, a jam up on the inside. Gerald's going to get away.
Yeah, that probably
wasn't. Away from for second.
Probably wasn't too hard to guess that he would pull away in the initial start, but the question is, how long can he keep away as a number 90? Scott Crump already looking to the inside, made it 3 wide for a split second, battling side by side, exit 3 or 4, right underneath Johnny Thomas. Going to be possibly cleared going into 1 and 2. No problem there, no problem for a caution behind. Actually, big problem for some of these drivers. Some of these drivers, although I'm not seeing what happened.
I'm not seeing it either.
Yeah, unfortunately, all I know is that caution came out, but I don't see the cause of caution. Let me go ahead and look at the yellow flag call, but let's focus on one of the drivers towards the back, see if we see anything. Green flag still, green flag still. Maybe it was behind? Is there still green flag racing? Now they're all slowing down. No, I really am not seeing what the cause of caution is for.
I am not seeing it either. Oh, it was Vega.
Vega?
It was Vega. Yep, it was Vega.
All right, let's go back and see what happened here to Vega.
It looks like it just kind of stops.
Ooh, in front of the 24 again.
Yeah, it's like Vega just stopped coming up out of the corner. Did he downshift? Did he?
Let's see. Let's go on board.
Yeah, something happened there. His gears changed, hit the RPM.
No, it was in fourth gear the whole time. It just wouldn't go. It seemed like it sounds like it was being bogged down in something.
I hear a gear shift on my replay. It hits like it's bogged down, and then all of a sudden it hits the top of the chip, like it's in the neutral.
It seems more believable. It's possible that just on my end, it was so quick that I just didn't get caught on my end.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Damien just said something was sticking. Yeah, he's popped out of gear, that's what he said. He said something was sticking. And he couldn't move it or something, and then it finally popped.
It's a real shame. Unfortunate for him. Unfortunate for the 24, who is once again being caught up and smashing into the back of a car. Not to his fault.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Hasek is one of those bubble guys tonight. I don't think so. He's 27th in points. Yeah, Hasek he's missed some races.
What I have is Hasek. Yeah, he's. I'm being shown he must win and be top 25 to be locked in. And well, right now it doesn't look like he's going to be winning tonight, unfortunately. And this is also not helping his point standings as well.
And Damien is getting parked now as well. That was his second tally.
Ooh. Pace car is off. Campbell taking off, no problem here as he's still holding on to the lead with those 40 lap old tires at this point. But right behind him is Scott Crump with those fresh Goodyears, seeing how long as he's already looking to the inside. As long as there's no caution, he might get the lead within the next lap or so. No problem for the 90 as he's still to the inside. Had a good run, but actually had to give it up for the 31, who found some speed out there on the high line and is committing to that high line, giving that whole inside line for the number 90, Scott Crump. Side by side in the back stretches, they're going to go into 3 and 4.
Yeah, Scott's having trouble making this pass with his fresher tires, but he's finally got it made there. Gerald's going to fall back here. Johnny Thomas backsliding. Jeff Green backsliding. They're 3 wide back there with Jeff Green. Kean trying to poke his nose in the bottom. Had to lift out of that. That could have been a big wreck. Oh, Kean moves up into Trey Holmes back there, and that's 3 wide. Trey Holmes is around. Jonathan Cutlip, Trey Eitzen, big wreck here on the front stretch.
Oh, they're not slowing down. 24, did he get hit again? Ooh, that was not a beautiful sight there across the start finish. I think all of our wrecks have come in the front stretch.
That wreck started that going into turn 3 with Kean trying to move up the racetrack to get out from behind Jeff Green, and Trey was out there. Can't move up high when there's a car out there. He moves up, makes contact with Trey, knocks Trey up the racetrack, and that gets Trey wrecked by the 77. 12 runs into the 77. The 28 gets a piece of it there. You mentioned the 24. I think he's going to sneak through. The 07 gets into the 12. Lots of damage for the 77 there. Man, that's a shame there. I just don't know what Kean was thinking there. His spotter's calling outside the whole time. Has to be. Just can't move up when, car high means car high. But he drove away. The wreck was behind him, so I guess it worked out.
Going forward to 24 and get his point of view as he had to possibly almost make some more contact, and thankfully it looks like this time was able to get by without any additional damage, but this was his view.
Yeah. Great job hitting the brakes there. Him and Ultra did a good job getting through that wreck.
Couple takers down Perry Road. Brandon, Ultra, Elaine Norgard, Trey, Edison, of course, those two drivers did get involved in the incident. But Campbell, Thomas, and Jeff Green are still out of the racetrack. They have yet to go down pit road. Now, I'm going to need you to remind me as to how many tires, how many sets of tires these guys have, because whether or not they're limited or not, these drivers who, everybody in the field is taking note of how well Campbell is doing, but it is going to be a risk if they do decide to try to do that towards the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many sets of tires they have tonight, but I think we could take this opportunity to have our first commercial break of the night.
Here's the thing. I don't have those.
Oh, you don't have the commercials?
I don't have those commercial breaks. But let's talk about our fantastic sponsors.
Well, we can talk about Rebilas Photography, the main sponsor of this series. He's all the time out taking pictures. And I'm kind of just doing this off the seat of my pants. He does not give us any sponsor reads, but if you follow him on Twitter, he's storm chasing. He's at NBA Finals, World Series, NFL games. The guy's everywhere taking pictures. So if you need some pictures done.
Is he in basketball games?
Yeah, basketball games, everywhere. He's wherever there's a place to take pictures, he takes pictures. He gets some great storm chasing stuff too. And we are coming up here in a little bit of a storm season. The fall is kind of overlooked because of the spring, but there's about to be some tornadoes and some different severe weathers events coming up here pretty soon. So if you follow him on Twitter, you will see all the pictures that he's got to take. He typically is racing too tonight. He's not here, so we'll have to see where Mark is. I have to go check it out on Twitter later as the pace car is off. Scott Crump is now in control. You mentioned those guys on old tires still out there. Big gap there. Ethan Stanley did not.
Yeah, it just seems like Ethan Stanley may have fallen asleep behind the wheel right before that restart happened, but still good recovery. Is only able to lose one spot to the 31. Maybe a second one to my race pick, Garrison Hogan, as they're side by side there for that third place battle. As a 31, we really haven't had enough laps for the 31 to possibly slow down the drivers behind them. But he is doing a fantastic job holding his own, as we've seen some of the other drivers lose spots after spots repeatedly. 31's been doing a great job, just still staying in second despite he lost the race lead.
Yeah, he was really a big beneficiary there of what happened on that restart to be able to get back to the top. As now Stanley's going to try to work to his inside. Which, if you're Gerald, that's what you want. You want these guys passing you on the bottom. Here comes Justin Fuller now. Stanley's going to get cleared. Caution's out.
Caution, yeah. 15, Franklin Fields.
Oh, it's Chad. It looks like the 9's going to get sideways off of 4. They're going to go down into turn 1, Chad wide. And Chad's the one who pays the price there, spins out.
Did you say they're going to go into the corner Chad wide?
Yep, Chad wide.
I've never heard that one.
That's the thing that's caught on over here in the Elite Racing Series. When there's 3 wide and that's Chad wide. Chad takes every 3 wide opportunity he gets.
Unfortunately, this one did not work out for him. It's even possible the netcode may have played a factor. Let's see if we can get an aerial view from the blimp cam. See if there even was contact that was made. I think even if there was a netcode, there would have probably still been contact. The 15's going to go around. And
is that the 24 that had to dodge him again? The 24 was right behind that again.
Oh,
Poor
no.
Michael. He has had to dodge everything. tonight.
I think the only thing he hasn't been involved with was the zero car spinning out on the backstretch, and that didn't even bring out a caution. Ian Riley, Don Pit Road, Joe Francis Pit Road, Ultra Pit Road again, Rasmus, Hozak Pit Road, Holmes, Aitson, excuse me, also down Pit Road. So, looks like tire wear isn't playing that big of a factor. It is going to play a factor, but
I think if we were able to get 10 laps,
yeah,
Gerald would be outside the top 10.
But if you got a 10-lap run, you're on 30-lap old tires. I say, and you're towards the back, I say go for it. Stay out. We've seen it work for Campo, who has only lost 2 spots. Granted, we really haven't been going green that long, but he's been doing a fantastic job holding it on. But you have to guarantee yourself a near front row start, because we've seen drivers who were not able to stay in the front just quickly drop back like we see in real life racing all the time. If that strategy is going to work out for you, you have to be near the front where you can drive it as hard as you can and hold off the leaders behind you.
Yeah, and back to the sponsor reads that we got here. TA Services, they've done a lot for Elite, been a partner for quite a long time. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let TA Services team make ship happen for you. And then, of course, we've got Blue Egg Marketing. They are the marketing department for small business. So if you need some marketing, contact Blue Egg, and they are also on race leader Ethan Stanley's machine. Second place, not race leader. Scott Crump currently in the Stay Tuned Sports podcast machine out front.
Lights are off.
So we're about half a lap from green. We'll see what happens here. Ethan Stanley, not so great on the last restart. We'll see if he can do a little better job this time. I've gotten word Jeff Gordon was in the car on the last restart. That was the problem.
Oh man, that hurts me. But no, you're right. He did struggle with that. As green flag's back out, Jeff Gordon may still be in that car as he got a better restart than last time. He wasn't always bad on restarts, but now 92's looking to the inside, backs off. Right in the backstretch, had a little bit of a run, but deemed it wasn't enough as a 90 checks out clear by himself and crossing the start-finish line here to get lap number 59 started as a single file first 3 cars side-by-side battle for 4th between Braxton DeWeese and Garrett Campo. Garrett Campo on the inside, DeWeese on the outside, as DeWeese has a lot of fans cheering him on tonight. Garrison Hogan in the number 1 to the outside of 31 right now, as now we are seeing Gerald Campbell start hemorrhaging spots, as we're also going to be seeing Kean Riley go onto his outside, as not only has he lost the front pack, but he's also on the inside, so it's going to be even harder for him to be able to hold off some of these drivers, as the descent into the mid pack is starting for Gerald.
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. They finally kept him trapped on the bottom, and you're on 40-lap older tires in the field, and you're trapped in that bottom lane, and this is what it looks like. As he's probably only going to give up that one more spot to Fody, and then he'll have a hole in front of Jeff Green and Johnny Thomas. And those 2 guys are on the same tires he's on, so he's going to be able to get back in line right here. But I would imagine they have probably decided next caution they're going to have to come and throw some tires on that machine. Tyler Fody's lost a lot of his track position here as well. He was up there with his teammates, and now he's back here in P7.
Yeah, he's lost a total of 4 spots from where he started in this race. As Chris, I hate to tell you, you got Josh Adams on the YouTube chat grilling on you, saying he didn't know that you could read.
Yeah, I can read just a little bit. I got about that 4th, 5th grade level, yeah. Not big words.
Oh, 04 cuts in front of Johnny Thomas, and not sure if there was contact or not, but the 04 just, it's like he hit a patch of ice going into 3 and 4, was able to hold on very well as everybody behind him was able to check up just a little bit No harm, no foul for the 04 though, as those tire temperatures are probably climbing up just a little bit. Side by side between Johnny Thomas and John Cutlip. This is a battle for 11th with Frankenfield, who we saw brought out the last caution, going Chad wide into 3 and 4. Or 1 and 2, I can't remember exactly what corner of the track he was, but he's got a nice recovery back down to 13th, as we're getting ourselves a nice long run going on here.
Yeah, and Gerald's probably ready for another yellow. He is realizing just how much he needs some tires right now. We're approaching about 100 laps to go, so the next pit stop will probably be the last stop, unless we have some long green flag runs here to get to the end. Lots of guys trying to make some points up here tonight, though. The final 100 laps of the regular season, some guys might be able to win this thing and get into the playoffs, so there's going to be a lot of desperate things done if the opportunity arises over the next 108 laps or so.
Also want to say happy Thanksgiving for all you Canadians out there. Enjoy the day of thanks. I hope you give it to other people. The thanks.
Gerald right back there. He's kind of keeping pace with Fody once he got back in line. Jeff Green right behind him. That's a teammate, even though that one's a Ford, one's a Chevy. Those cars came out of the same shop. And both are on the same tires I started the race on, so it's worked out pretty well. I think if you can stay in the top 10 here on a set of tires, I don't know how many sets they have tonight, but if you've got something to throw on with 25 to go and nobody else does, it might make a big difference. Johnny's kind of backslid a little bit more here. Leighton Norgard right now is the first car, 1 lap down in 21st. Trey looks like he's still running. Trey Eisen's still running in 22nd, but he's 2 down.
Not much action
Johnny's
going.
backsliding.
Yeah, not much action going on around the front part of the field, as they're all single file running their own thing. As I'm trying to take a look here, we got the 3TV multicam. We see here Frankenfield and the 70 of Jesse Razumez going side by side. This is a battle for 14th, as it seems like Jesse is actually catching up. It has more momentum than number 15 does.
Chad takes some racetrack, gets real tight, and then gets real loose.
Chad's out there driving it as hard as he can. He last one down Pier Road about 30 odd laps ago. So I don't think he actually went down Pier Road when he spun. I think he did still stay out, so those tires are a little bit worse for wear than the other drivers around him. Although that being said, the other drivers around him went down lap 28, so... everybody out here has old tires, as Jake Knorr catching up to the back of Johnny Thomas just a little bit. Taking a look, seeing the biggest mover, Jesse Reismus, who we were just talking about, the biggest mover, up 10 spots from where we started, qualified in 24th, up to 14th.
Chad's probably pretty frustrated with the pace he's got tonight, too. Joe Francis trying to look to his outside. Chad's going to try to slide right up in front of him. Chad's really, he looks like he's on the edge of control. He looks like how I felt last night trying to run that dirt race in the truck. The truck was driving me a lot more than I was driving it. I was just holding on.
Yeah, that's usually what you get in those, that's usually what you get in any type of race. You're kind of at the mercy of the car, not the driver.
Yeah, but you throw us out there on some dirt, and I mean, it was wild last night. And Joe Francis, right there trying to pass Chad. Joe Francis won the dirt race at Knoxville. Big win for him. Right now.
I did see a Twitter post about that. Congratulations to Joe with his barbecue chips and numbers by Joe. Beautiful white paint scheme.
Yeah, it always puts me in the mind. I'm not sure if you know anything about Ryan Gavel Designs, but looks like something he puts together from time to time. Joe's really good spinner off, too. Like, he's having to check up not to run over Chad.
I want to focus back on Gerald Campbell, who did that strategy of staying out in the first caution and leading a couple laps before losing a lead and then eventually losing a couple more spots. He's actually holding firm in 8th place, which is actually where he qualified. So it seems like his strategy hasn't really done much harm at all to him, considering that he's kind of around the area where he would have been had he not even done the strategy at all. So, you know, hats off to Gerald Campbell. He's saved a set of tires.
I think he's about to lose a couple more, though.
It looks like he's about to lose a couple more, but he's actually running competitive lap times to the guys behind him. Actually, a tenth of a second faster than Gavin Hibbs and 0.2 of a second faster than John Cutler.
Not sure how much Gerald's got to fight here. The 04 is going to drive right to the back bumper.
We're on board. Every time we go on board, a caution comes out, so hopefully it doesn't happen this time by. But we're on board with Gavin Higgins as he's looking to make something happen, as he's hungry for some soup, some aggressive soup, to get past the number 31 aggressive soup machine.
Yeah, he's better. It's just Gerald's running a really tidy line.
Oh,
he gets loose down into 3. Wow.
Getting a little too much gravy going in the corner.
Inside. Yeah, a lot of times what you do here on the stock car side in some of these short ovals, it's like what you do on the road courses as well. You play with that brake bias all the way through the run, and usually the car's tight, so you're going further and further rear brake until something happens where it's like, oh, I've went maybe a little too far. And I think that's what Gavin just realized is, oh, I might have went a little too far on that rear brake. Let me put a little bit more front back into it.
The temperature and the balance of his car, I should say, is not where he wants it to be, as he's kind of sliding, entering the corners and entering the corners right now. Balance is off. He needs to regroup, let the tires cool down, get himself back in rhythm, and try to go attack. As now we see John Cutlip in the Wobble machine, battling the 31, looking to the inside, wasn't able to make it work, and is now just trying to get back in position. Has a run there on the inside of 1 and 2, as nothing's going to happen there yet again, as that outside line has a huge advantage when it comes to defense.
Ooh, Gerald's sideways right there. He's gonna have to give the spot up.
That's what you have to do. Sometimes you just gotta sit back there, press L2 to intimidate, and let the other driver in front of you make their own mistake.
Now Gerald's gonna get in line here behind Cutlip, who's always notorious for having really good long run pace. And it would appear to be that way again tonight.
Yeah, Cutlip up 10 spots from where he qualified. He qualified in 18th, now in 8th. To let him find himself into the top 10, well into the top 10. Only 5 seconds behind the race leader. And he's got the speed.
Oh, Gavin, the 04.
Oh! Nice. Ooh, what a good recovery, but getting pushed in the back by the 38. Jeff Green is not going to care in what stability level you are in right now. He is going to go for it. Thankfully, nothing bad happened, but he is looking to the inside of the 04. He's going to have a run on the exit of the corner, as he's going to look inside yet again. No, he's going to back off and regroup and try to go for another attack. Meanwhile, towards here at the front, we have a battle. So, sorry for cutting you off there. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, as they're swapping positions left and right, going into lap 92.
Yeah, taking a look there. Garrison's on the back of Braxton, and they've got Ethan Stanley behind them. They've passed Ethan Stanley, like you mentioned, while we were watching all the craziness back here in the midfield for about 10th. Looks like Ethan's fallen off here on the long run. Backing up to his teammate Tyler Fode, trying to get back into the picture as well, as we look at Garrison Hogan here trying to work over the 27 machine of Braxton DeWeese.
Thankfully, we have the beauty of multicam here to keep us entertained with the multiple battles going on around the racetrack. You're seeing here the 27 and the 1 battling for that position, as we're also seeing the biggest mover of the race, number 70, Jesse Reisman, working on the 04, who we saw having a little bit of balancing issues as he almost gave it too much there and got himself a little too loose on the edge of the corner, as that's going to give an advantage to 70, but he's not going to have the track position momentum. Actually, he does. 70 barely scripts the wall as, excuse me, the 04 barely scripts the wall as he is going to lose that position. And now Jeff Green is looking to the inside. Well, everybody's getting loose off the 4. This is how we left him
earlier.
Yeah.
Jeff was trying to pass him when the 70 passed them both, and now here comes Jeff looking underneath the 04. 04 it was like flipping a switch. We watched him move through, drive right to the back of Gerald. It was like as soon as he got to the back of Gerald, Gerald dropped an oil slick, and he hasn't been able to clean his tires since.
Oh, got loose again. That is a very tough corner to maneuver the exit of 4, and actually going to hurt Johnny Thomas a little bit. Had to check up as the 45 essentially just passes 2 vehicles there, no problem. As now Thomas is going to have to go back and battle the 04. I was, as you know, when I used to race leagues more often, that used to be something that bothered me a lot. I would spend 5, 10, 15 laps working on somebody, trying to pass them, and no matter what, I can't do it. And then I see one person behind me shows up and just passes both of us in one corner without any issues.
Yeah, and one thing there too about the 45 passing those was like the 45 made a green flag stop. That's brand new tires on that machine.
45.
Yeah, Brandon Ultra there has passed all this whole group of cars there while we were watching it.
Oh yes.
Like they were sitting still.
Oh, that would explain why. Yeah, he's got fresh tires. I'm also looking at my numbers because I'm unfortunately not too familiar with all the paint schemes out here quite yet. And I was like, oh, somebody here has a different number from what we're seeing. But no, yeah, 45, 2 laps down right now, trying to earn one of those back the hard way. And, you know, if it keeps on going green, that actually may just happen.
Yeah, that's what new tires are worth right now. And Gerald, that we've just crossed over the 100 lap mark. Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, and Johnny Thomas are running in the same tires they started the race on. So 100 laps on their tires now at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point now they're all begging for a caution to come out. As we're looking at John Cutlip getting past Kean Riley there for that 7th place spot. But up front, Crump has pulled off not really as much as I'm sure he would like, only 0.8 of a second, almost 0.9.
Fody passed Ethan Stanley, and then just a couple laps later went up and passed Garrison Hogan. So Fody has now moved back up into the top 4.
Yep, top 5 right now. Scott Crump, Justin Fuller, Braxton DeWeese, Tyler Fody, Garrison Hogan, all running strong by themselves right now. And then we have Stanley Cutlip, Riley, Campbell, and Razimas in your top 10, who are a bit further back from the leaders and potential race action.
Yeah, and right now, if I'm Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, Johnny Thomas, I'm ready for a yellow.
I'm sure everybody at this point is ready for a yellow.
Well, based on what I'm looking at, I think Tyler Fody would be okay if it went green. I think Jonathan Cutlip says, let's run it green. And right now, Scott Crump is about to get into some lap traffic. It's not too far out in front of him. Yeah,
we were looking, that was 24 of Michael Hozak and Chad Frankenfield, and also Jaden Razimas in... is Jaden Razimas and Jesse Razimas brother are related?
I believe so.
Well, Jaden is next to Chad and Michael Hozak, who are next up in line to being lapped. They're battling side by side, which, you know, as a leader is not what I would want to see when I'm trying to pass drivers and still trying to maintain a gap, because usually side by side battles is going to slow everybody down. And when you're the leader, you have to be patient because they're also trying to stay on the lead lap.
I will say this. Chad and Scott have a history, and it's not a good one. So I would imagine Chad is going to make this pass pretty difficult.
Oh, right. Caution is out.
I believe that was Kean, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kean Riley. And unfortunately, right around the time Chris DeWeese on the YouTube chat saying we wanted to go green brought out the fan curse, as the caution is out now with Kean Riley. Let's take a look and see what happened, if it was a self-spin or if he had some help.
Oh, definite self-spin, but it looks like everybody's going to miss him.
Yeah, the only harm done here is harm to the pride as everybody is going down pit road.
Yeah, here we go. Big pit stops for the boys here. Who wins the race off pit road? All the tire changes happening.
Funny enough, Frankenfield stayed out.
Scott Crump, Justin Fuller, Braxton DeWeese, Tyler Fody, Garrison Hogan, Ethan Stanley, Jonathan Cutlip, Gerald Campbell, Jesse Rasmus. And you said Chad stayed out?
Yeah, he stayed out, and he actually didn't even go back pit road.
I believe Chad just said he's going to go ahead and pit. He just wanted to lead a lap, I think is what I'm hearing.
That makes sense. He did lead that lap, and he's getting to the inside, looking like he is going to commit. So,
and I believe we have one sponsor read left for the night, and it is Worldwide Technology Gateway.
say it again.
Gateway. It used to be Gateway International Raceway. Now it's Worldwide Technology Raceway, and they are a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile oval that hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Craftsman Truck Series, and NTT IndyCar Series. A 2-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour, Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America, and a quarter-mile NHRA-sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event, and the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. And the NASCAR schedule just came out, and Gateway/Worldwide Technology Raceway is on it once again next year. So, an all-in-one motorsport complex there. I have never been there, but I hear it's a great facility.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not close to me either.
Looks like Scott Crump is going to take the top here for this restart. Lined up with his 3 Lake Norman teammates. I bet this outside lane's about to get a great jump, Carlos. What do you think?
And so outside lane's always going to be strong, especially if you are the controlling car. It's going to be
and
even
that's
stronger.
Just 2 teammates, right? That's 3 Lake Norman cars who are probably communicating about when Scott is going to take off here in the box. Green is out. Scott gets clear. Fody's going to pull alongside for second. Is he going to be able to stay out there? Don't think so. Fuller's going to get up.
Yeah, your top 2 was able to clear themselves as Crump Fuller. No challenge there, but 40 now has to hold off. DeWeese there on the inside. DeWeese always a competitor pretty much everywhere you go. Strong on the inside with everybody having fresh tires. Everybody's happy. The race is reset. There are 61 laps remaining. When they cross the line, there'll be 60. Essentially a 62-lap sprint here till the end. You could go the rest of the way without pitting. And the question is, if a caution comes out, let's say in 30 laps, do you even pit? That's going to be the real struggle for a lot of these guys. But still side by side between the 40 and the 27, as that's not what Lake Norman Motorsports wanted to see. They wanted to see all 3 drivers clear by themselves by this point. But the 27 holding firm on the inside, not going to give up anytime soon.
Yeah, Braxton's fighting hard, but I think he's fighting a losing battle. I think eventually that outside lane is going to be where you want to be, but Tyler has to lift late exit. Pushed up a little bit out of 4. They get down into the middle, 1 and 2. Braxton trying to squeeze up. Gets way loose down there. He's almost clear. Right now, if you're Braxton, you're just trying to overdrive the entry and see if you can get it slid up.
Ooh, right now what Braxton is doing will probably eventually clear himself.
he is trying to get clear, and he just can't. Fody knows that he's going to try to overdrive the corner and slide up, so Fody is overdriving the corner as well. Braxton really loose. He's clear there. He got clear.
Now he just needs to come on up and hold and hopefully prevent a crossover from happening as a 27 breaking up that 1-2-3 duo for Lake Norman Motorsports. Shift Esports has now entered into this top 3 battle. The Wee's always a factor. What's up?
Fuller's still up in second. He's not Lake Norman.
Oh, I apologize. I thought he was. My bad.
Yeah, Fuller is, I believe his teammate is Trey Eidson, I think.
Yeah, it says here Aftermath Motorsports, but I wasn't sure if that was correct or not. I misheard you when you mentioned who was in Lake Norman, so that's my mistake. I apologize to Lake Norman Motorsports and Justin Fuller and the team that he is in.
Hey, Fody might try to go get him. Let's give it a few weeks, and Fody might try to make that a reality. If somebody shows some speed, Fody's knocking on their door saying, hey, want to come drive for Lake Norman?
All right, well, I know for sure without a doubt that's never going to happen to me. And no speed here.
Hey, it happened to me. It can happen to anybody.
Good battle there with Ethan Stanley, Gerald Campbell battling hard for that 5th position. As Gerald Campbell, that strategy, it was neutral for him. It didn't really work, didn't really fail, but he did learn some valuable knowledge. And so did the field, but he actually was able to experience it. So if anybody is going to be able to do this again, that being said, pit or stay out if everybody pits with like 30 or so to go, I'm going to put my money in Gerald Campbell to possibly even hold off for that win should that happen. Caution is out.
Boston.
Being told Jaden Rosimas was involved in that incident. Let's take a look.
Looks like it might be a self-spin.
Ooh, yeah, got a little too high on the exit of the corner. Turned it too much while giving it too much gas, and the car just went around. Didn't hit anything, but took a tow nonetheless, so that's going to hurt him pretty bad there.
And you mentioned Gerald Campbell and staying out and what he learned. When that caution came out for him, as Gerald's on the pit road here to get tires, he's going to go ahead and get some more tires.
That's
Gerald said that when that caution came out, that he learned that he did not want to stay out that long on tires again. He's bringing Johnny Thomas, Joe Francis, Michael Hosick. I mean, and this is what Gerald needs. Gerald talked about needing to win tonight, I believe, is what he needed to get in. He was a winning in guy, so I like the call. Do what they don't. Try to put tires on here. Maybe you run 20 laps and they all put tires on, and you can stay out and have a fighting chance to try to win the race.
Yeah, I like the call as well. But let's all the drivers who I'm having a little bit of a hard time trying to read this playoff scenario graph or chart that we received. But it looks like the drivers who have to win tonight to advance is Hozak, Goodman, Thomas, and they must be in the top 25 in points. And I think, based on this graph, I think they are Rucker, Clark, Schultz, Mark Rebilas, Fortuner, and Hunter Smith all must win and be in the top 25. And I don't think a lot of these names are even racing here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward. We'll see who makes the playoffs, who doesn't make the playoffs. And Gerald, Gerald being up here in the booth, working with DRN most weeks, does the truck series and whatnot, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm pulling for Gerald to be able to try to win this thing and get into the playoffs. But as we've seen tonight, it's going to take something special to overcome Scott Crump and Tyler Fody, Justin Fuller, and those guys up at the front.
Take a look. We'll probably have a 45-lap run for when we go back to green. It really depends on if we get one to go or one to green this time by.
And on Wednesday, we are finishing the regular season and the Cup Series. And it is full distance from Daytona with stage points. Stages are going to be involved. So lots of points on the line here on Wednesday night on the Elite Racing Network. So be sure to join Dave and Alex and Zach and the whole crew there Wednesday and see who's going to make the playoffs over there in the Cup Series. Scott Crump picking the top once again. Green is out. Fuller got a better jump that time than he did the last time. Oh, Fuller's around down here,
no.
turn one. He's going to collect Ethan Stanley on the inside. They are hooked together, backing up.
No
Not
caution,
ideal
though.
for those two.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
no caution. There's Gerald Campbell passing both of them on the top of 3 wide. Oh, they get together. Fuller's nearly spun again.
I picked the worst time for me to go drink water. Oh, man. I started choking. I started panicking there. I'll see if I can queue up a replay of sorts to see what happened there. But I want you to go ahead and take over while I get that work on.
Yeah, I think what happened on there, Justin Fuller took off really good. I mentioned it, he took off way better start than the last one. And when they got down to turn 1, he got on the brakes, maybe got in a little too deep and got to going sideways. Ethan Stanley tried to squeak by on the bottom, and Fuller was heading towards the bottom, and it hurt both of them. They both came together right on the very bottom, as you see here. But it straightened each other out, no caution.
I think there was still
Crazy
some more
restart.
contact there. Or no, it looks like that was it.
Well, there's going to be contact right there off of 4 when Fuller gets loose again, but incidental, not like the first contact. Joe Campbell trying to move forward on his fresh tires. He had to restart back around 15th or 16th, and through all that mayhem and calamity, he is right on the back door of the top 10. Ooh, Kean gets up into Trey Holmes there just a little bit. And that's going to cost Kean a spot. It's going to move Gerald up to 11th. Now I'm going to go ahead and say right now, Gerald's probably done pitting for the night. I think Gerald's going to stay out when all those guys decide to pit. He's going to work to the outside of Trey Holmes here. Trey kind of runs him up the track, defending him.
The question even is if anybody is even going to go down pit road at this point. 38 laps remaining in the race. The only realistic chance somebody might go down pit road is if there's another caution within the next 8 laps. But the closer we get to like 20 laps to go, 15 laps to go, I really doubt anybody's going to be going down pit road, especially if you're up in the front.
Well, I think what's going to determine who pits and whatnot is how far Gerald gets. I think if Gerald pitted, I think if Gerald gets up to your area, like if a caution were to come out right now and I'm Trey Holmes, Kean, Johnny Thomas, if I'm behind Gerald, I know he's on better tires. I'm not passing that car back. I'm coming to get tires. And if I'm Chad Frankenfield, I'm Jay, I'm Cutlip right there in front of him, I know he's probably going to pass me. So I think if a caution comes out, I think Gerald is the reason that a lot of these guys, you might see a lot of them pit.
I'm still, I don't know, I feel like that was the best opportunity for these guys to go down pit road. And Gerald and the handful of others were able to capitalize on that. I think at this point it's too late. Oh, contact between him and 15. Around goes a 9.
Oh, and Gerald's destroyed in it as well. Key and Raleigh got into the back of Gerald. Oh, man. Gerald's not going to be happy about that.
And it took a
It
tow.
was Trey. It wasn't Kean. It was not Kean that got into him. Yeah, Chad just got really close against him there. Got into the 9. There was net code, but there was going to be contact either way.
Oh, it was up ahead.
They were going to escape that without contact as high up as Chad was trying to run those boys. Trey gets into the back of Gerald, which then gets the 68 involved. Got Trey involved. Europeans involved back there. Lots of blown motors. I think the 68 blew a motor. And we've got pit stops. Tyler Fode's on pit road. You mentioned about pit stops.
Oh yeah, this changes everything. Scott Crump stayed out, Jeff Green stayed out, Johnny Thomas stayed out, Cutlip stayed out. Actually, no, excuse me, I got that wrong. Top 3 stayed out. It was only Crump, Green, and Thomas who did it. And remember, Green and Thomas had already done this strategy before, but Scott Crump is going to be the person who is...
Well, and here's what's going to help the guys that stayed out. Garrison Hogan's on 2 tires. Jonathan Cutlip is on 2 tires. Tyler Fode is on 4.
And actually everybody else behind him is on 4.
Yeah. And the cause of that caution was netcode.
Okay. That was definitely a racing deal, whether netcode or was involved or not, but tough break for those drivers, Campo, who possibly had the winning strategy had he not been involved in that caution. It's going to be very upset about that, and unfortunately that's just one of those wrong place at the wrong time scenarios. He gave it the best he could, but now Crump is your staying out and is your race leader. Green has done this before, didn't fully work out for him, but he's there. He's going to have 29, maybe 28 laps of green flag racing with arguably less tires than less tire wear than he did in the first time, in the first attempt. Johnny Thomas, same deal, has the experience. Didn't fully work out for him, but he might be able to make something and capitalize this second attempt. And then we mentioned Garrison Hogan and John Cutlip, who did go down pit road, but took 2 tires only. Everybody else behind them did take 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, and we're joined here by Gerald Campbell. Gerald, we saw the strategy call for 4 tires. Thought it was going to pay off. You were moving forward there. You did everything right, and just short track accident there. The guys behind you didn't get checked up. Take us through your race, and man, we thought you might get the win tonight.
Yeah, I feel like I probably would have gotten the win with how things just are playing out right now. I mean, I would be where Johnny Thomas's was at, and I honestly had a really good car, regardless of strategy. I felt like I was easily a top 5 guy, and that top 5 was only separated by a 10th, but we'll see how it goes. Jeff Green is going to be who I root for, but Johnny Thomas is going to have a good shot here.
Yeah, and we saw, Green's coming out here, but we saw some of those guys take 2 tires. What do you foresee working out here with 2 tires or not working out with 2 tires?
I think 2 tires would be fine. I think it's loose going in, so I don't think 2 tires is necessarily what's going to affect that too much. It's upon braking where it's really loose. So I think they'll be okay. In the middle of the turn, they'll probably have some good rotation still. So we'll see. I still think Johnny Thomas is... if he can be able to complete the pass here, he should be able to be in the catbird seat. I think he's in an almost must-win situation. Oh no! That 3 wide. I reckon. I'll give it back over.
Yeah. Well, not reckon. I think we're going to stay green. I think everybody caught it there, Gerald. Great calls there from Gerald. He typically does this on Sunday nights for the Truck Series. But Gerald, we'll let you get back down there with your teammate Pep.
Like I said, I think Tyler Fode has this in the shot. Like I said from the very beginning, I never doubted Tyler Fode. I think, like I said from the very shot, he's got this in the back.
Man, I think that's the first time you mentioned Fode's name. I'd have to go back and look at the tape though. I might do a challenge flag right here, like that commercial. You throw the challenge flag.
And of course, Chad gets involved in a wreck and finds himself in the top 5. So life's really good right now. I'm gonna go live my life happily.
All right, Gerald, we hate to see you miss out tonight. We thought you were going to be able to win, get into the playoffs. So we look forward to watching you make some noise in the playoffs and taking some of the shine off of some of these playoff guys.
Yeah, they're gonna have to watch out for me because I'm not gonna give any inches to them, and they've got a championship to win. I just want to win.
Well, alrighty, Gerald. That was Gerald Campbell tonight. We saw run at the front, near the front, have a shot to win, and didn't play out like he wanted, but you heard him. He's going to try to make some noise in the playoffs.
And right now, Crump was able to pull away from Fode, Razimus, Frankenfield, and the rest behind them as it's single file for a lot of these drivers, but in reality, it doesn't really feel like you can't really pause. If once you pause, you're gonna find yourself side by side. And let's take a look at the strategy. It didn't work out for Jeff Green or Johnny Thomas this time by.
4 tires on Tyler Fode is going to go past the old tires of Scott Crump. And I believe we've seen this before. Last week, we saw these 2 race for the win. Fode got the better of the deal. He saved his tires, took care of them a little better than Crump did, and went up and passed Crump right at the end. And now here he is on 4 new tires, Crump's old tires. And he's got this pass made now as well.
Yeah, no problem there for the 40. 40 took a lap and a half, was able to get it done. The question is, how long will it take Razimas to do the same as he's battling side by side for that second position? The other driver with 4 fresh tires, so the quicker he can do this, the quicker he can get to possibly challenging 40 for the win. And well, it took just a little bit longer than 40 did, but he's now single file, and so is the 15.
The 70 stayed out, right? He got tires the last caution, the previous caution. The 27 pitted with Fode, and he's the next car on Fode's tires, right? It's Braxton Louise.
Yes, the 27, Braxton Louise. Everybody, at the exception of Garrison Hogan, has 4 fresh tires. And pitted at the last stop. Scott Crump, Garrison Hogan, by the way, I should say, took 2 tires. Scott Crump behind him was the first driver who stayed out. And he's going to be losing a ton of spots. We saw Brandon Ultra earlier in this race, 2 laps down, really digging in, putting in some fast laps after he put on fresh tires. Back in the lead lap, already up into 7th and looking like he's going to want a challenge for 6th. What a great recovery for the 45.
Right now, Scott Crump is really wishing he'd have pitted and got some tires. This is the furthest back he's been all night. This is how important tires are. And Crump is, he's going to be pretty frustrated after this race. He's going to feel like he let one get away tonight.
All right, now the focus is, can the number 70 of Jesse Razimas do anything to the 40? As the 90 gets a little bit of contact there, doesn't get the exit of the corner he wants, to lose a little bit of time and spot as the 04 is diving into the inside and possibly get that position. Battle side by side between the 28 and the number 38 as well. The Wawa machine and the JPS machine on the inside there on 1 and 2.
Yeah, Scott Crump's about to back out of the top 10. He's not got anything left to fight with here. He is just, we have seen Scott Crump run up front in the top 2 or 3 spots all night long. One bad pit call, and we've seen it before. We get to the end of these races, you're the leader, and you stay out. Everybody else pits, and we've seen it with Scott Crump.
Jesse goes around.
Oh, Jesse.
That will bring out a caution. And he took a toe.
And I believe he lost it on his own.
That we were on board when that happened on his own. Just gave it too much beans exiting the corner, and unfortunately for Jesse, that's gonna do it for him. In terms of chances of winning here tonight, he was right there. He was battling with the 40 for the win. You cannot blame him. Give it just a little too much for the car, and around it went, parked at the start-finish line here.
Now what? I mean, Scott Crump's coming and getting 4 tires. There's no way Scott's going to stay out there.
I think it really did look like the 40 does have this win under the bag. Going to be restarting sub 10 laps, and I'm not really seeing anybody else.
Jeff's
possibly
coming with
have
Scott
anything.
here. Trey Eitzen, Johnny Thomas, Ethan Stanley. But Scott is going to give up spots to Jay, to Joe, to Hosick.
Yeah,
So
in total,
he's gonna
11
pit
drivers. 11 drivers have stayed out, so this pit road battle would be for 12th and back, with restarting with less than 10 laps to go. This is, I want to say, a little too late to possibly contend for the win. But if we get a couple green-white checkered attempts, there's a chance you can contend for a top 5, maybe a top 3. But I think the win right now is definitely out of reach.
Scott Crump, right here, is going to be a bull in a china shop.
Also, I want to say this is the 8th caution, so
Wow, the over-under of 9 was right on the money, huh? It was pretty close.
Oh, wait,
Like, that's a
I
good
thought it was
over-under.
7. Oh, if it was 9,
think
then I'm still technically good.
Yeah, you're still good. It was over under 9, and you said it would be under. I took the over.
What if it finishes at 9?
We're both winners. That's how that works.
No. If we finish at 9, we're both losers.
Well, I'd rather both of us be winners than both of us be losers.
Because if it finishes at 9 exactly, it's not over 9, and it's also not under 9.
Yeah, but neither one of us are losers. Like, let's be winners. I'd rather be winners than losers.
Okay.
If we're gonna be something,
yeah,
together,
we'll be winners. Let's hopefully finish with 8 cautions or less.
And you said we're sitting at 8 right now.
Yeah.
We got us
9 cautions or less.
We got
I
us
should
2
say.
more. We got us a couple
there's
more.
2
Scott
more?
Crump. Oh, Scott Crump's gonna restart 11th. You watch him. Like I said, bull in a china shop. Scott's gonna be digging. He feels like he should have won this race, and he should win this race. We're about to see Scott do some. He's gonna lick the stamp and send it right here. Chad wide times 2. That's what this is about to be.
Chad wide times 2.
Yep.
We are going green next time, bias. We do have Jesse Rebilas. Let's quickly bring him up. And Jesse, unfortunate for you, you gave it the best you could. But is there anything else you could have done? Oh, Jesse, it looks like he's still recovering from the infield care center.
You guys couldn't see it at home, but he was using sign language.
He got called back into the infield care center. Maybe you'll get a word with him if another caution does come out.
Here we go. Green's out. Fody gets a big jump.
Oh, not too big.
Crump's already in the middle, 3 wide, forcing it. I told you. Chad wide times 2, bouncing doors off a guy.
Braxton
Together with
DeWeese.
Jeff Green.
Braxton DeWeese sent it 110% going into the corner. Has the advantage on the outside line and is sending it some more as a 27 at DeWeese. Might be your brand new race leader here as they cross start finish line. Advantage to DeWeese, but the 40 of Tyler 40 is still hanging on as that was hard to say.
Ultra's around in the back of the field. The 04's around.
Caution is out. DeWeese is your leader.
Caution number 9.
Chris DeWeese in the Chris DeWeese in the YouTube chat must be throwing popcorns in the ceiling. That was a fantastic restart by the number 27 of Braxton DeWeese and could possibly be your race-winning move.
Yeah, what a restart there. The 45 got together with Cutlip off a 2. Spins out. The 04 gets a piece of it. Now, Scott was able to dodge all that. Who is that?
Excuse me. This was the
there.
previous caution. I apologize. I did not scroll back far enough.
Well, you talked about Ultra making a comeback there, and just a little bit of contact, spins him. The 04, that's where Jay gets involved as well. The 24 back there dodging another wreck.
That's a really bad time to have an incident there as a 45. That good recovery might be going to waste. The car might still be okay, but it's going to be even harder for him to recover. But now let's see if we can maybe get a quick word with Jesse Rebilas, who we saw battling it hard and giving it the best he could there. Just give it a little too much. As Jesse, unfortunate for you, but is there anything else you feel like you could have done?
Nah, it was such a slow, lazy spin. I mean, first time it really happened all night. It just sucks because probably one of the best shots I had to actually win one of these things, and it was running up there with the greats. So
yeah, you were definitely there. You had, you were keeping pace with him. Unfortunately, that had to happen. Aside from that, overall, how was your night as a whole? How was your race?
Pretty uneventful. Started off in the back of the pack. I messed up qualifying, spun it out both times. So started in the back and was just kind of riding until the opportunity arose, and it seemed like that was the perfect shot, and I kind of blew it.
Well, you get to learn from your mistake for the next time that you find yourself in this position. Chris, is there anything you want to ask or say?
Man, it was just it was a good run. We saw you up there. We saw Gerald up there. The guys that needed to win, needed to try to win and get in the playoffs. You know, what's your outlook now for the playoffs? Just go get some trophies.
Yeah, I mean, came so close this season to a lot of them, and I guess kind of just the game plan now is just run wherever we can finish, get the best finishes we can for the rest of the season, and work on it again next season.
Well, all right,
All right.
Jesse, we look forward to seeing you make some noise in the playoffs along with Gerald Campbell. You guys go steal all the trophies and force them boys to race for second.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. That was Jesse Reismas, who was finally able to exit the infield care center and is now going to go on and enjoy the rest of his Monday evening. We got Robert Hill Jr. on the YouTube chat. Robert, hope your Thanksgiving dinner went swell. Hope you're full with your canned swan, and you know, enjoy the rest of your night as well. Probably has a big belly, belt undone. Gonna watch the last 3 laps, hopefully, of this race. As we're in the night caution, we are in the victory zone for both of us.
Green, white, checkered. 1 out of 3. Scott Crump got up to 8th. I'm telling you. Let's see if he can get to the top 6 and catch another yellow. Oh, big jump for Braxton DeWeese. Not a good jump for Tyler Fode.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned with Braxton DeWeese choosing that inside line, but it paid off for him as he is able to get a great, phenomenal restart against Tyler Fode, who is now being challenged for that second place position. No caution so far, no issues, as they're going to cross the line for one more lap to go.
Scott Crump makes a little contact with the back of Chad Frankenfield there into 1. Trying to dick our Jeff Green sideways. We're wrecking in the back, but it's going to be in the back. Braxton DeWeese is out front. Looks like he is going to win the race off of turn 4. Fode, Garrison Hogan, Fuller, Frankenfield, and side by side for P6. Crump beats out Cutlet, Stanley, Johnny Thomas, and Jay Canor. Had a big wreck there on the last lap, though. Jeff
Yeah,
Green
that was a big wreck. Congratulations to Braxton DeWeese. Essentially won this race by himself. He did that. What a phenomenal restart on the second to last restart. Was able to get back on the lead and hold on that last restart, as celebrating there in the front stretch. And also, Chris, we get to celebrate as well. You know, we're both victors from the over-under.
That's right. Over-under was 9. They finished with exactly 9. Robert Hill also messaged me there, and he said we're both winners. He agrees that we're always winners. But the biggest winner of the night is Braxton DeWeese. He got up there and got it. Got that restart, you know. We talked about Jeff Gordon restarts there early in the race. I believe that was vintage Jeff Gordon right there on that restart.
And here's the last lap crash with Jeff Green, and I think Joe Francis as well was involved.
Yeah, it gets up into Johnny, spins down. It's going to catch Joe Francis, catch Eitzen. 24 once again, dodging a wreck.
All right, I want to take a look at that restart once again. The race-winning restart for Braxton DeWeese. Here he is on the outside line, and we're going to go on the chopper cam. Your control car is the 40 of Tyler Fode. 27 of Braxton DeWeese was on the outside. Got a fantastic restart. Held on. It's the first time I've seen anybody in this race hold on the outside with the restart, and was able to get a good momentum. Remember, the outside line is fantastic for defensive maneuvers, and he was able to use it for offensive moves as well, as he got a great drive off the corner, was able to keep his car just a bumper ahead, as the caution was probably going to be coming out around this point. That's when they're all slowing down. But the 27, that right there was the race-winning move for tonight's race.
Yeah, what a restart. What a job there by Braxton. It's very hard to take off with the leader when you're not the leader. And Braxton did a great job. Curious to hear what he's got to say about it. I believe we've got Braxton and Garrison in the waiting room. No Tyler Fode just yet. Tyler's probably trying to calm down Scott Crump over there. Scott's going to feel like he let one get away tonight and be pretty frustrated.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna step back as I try to figure out these post-race stuff. I'll let you handle the interviews.
All right, we are now joined by our third place finisher, Garrison Hogan. Garrison started the race pretty straightforward. Lots of green flag running there the first half. Second half turned into a little bit of the cautions we expected. Take us through your night, how you managed to have track position at the end, have a shot to win the race.
Yeah, most of my night was just being here to log laps and I don't know, just do the race, honestly. I mean, I contemplated just starting and parking, but I just went ahead and did it anyway and survived most of the restarts. And I mean, I was trying just to not hit anybody or do anything that would kind of affect anybody's race. And yeah, it was hard on some of those restarts, but for the most part, I got through them and got lucky on a couple of them at the end, and we came out with a P3. So I guess it was good in the end. I got good points out of it, even though it didn't matter. I was locked in.
Yeah, locked in. So talk to us about your outlook for the playoffs and the schedule that's coming up. What do you think about the schedule and where you can, maybe win in that first round?
I mean, after Mid-Ohio, honestly, that's where I'm going to start looking to those types of tracks to win on. Mid-Ohio is just going to be survival for me. I'm not a good road course racer. That's already known by pretty much everybody. So I'll just hopefully score good points there at Mid-Ohio and move on. And I'm pretty sure I'll get top fives at the other tracks. I'm going to definitely race harder and try harder. You're not going to see me come from the back anymore. So say goodbye to that, especially after Wednesday 2 in Cup. So look forward to me actually being up front.
A few times you've not qualified and kind of paid the price for that. So yeah, qualifying every week from here on out.
Yeah, model has to change when the money comes, right?
Yeah, the pay window's about to open. So what about, you mentioned the Cup Series. What's your outlook for Wednesday? You locked in on Wednesday as well? You just out there racing for fun?
Yeah, I'm locked in for Wednesday too. And you know me, I would say I'm one of the best plate racers in this league. So if you want to go to the front, you better be in front of me on Wednesday. We're gonna 2 wide, 3 wide, wherever you want to go. I mean, I'll even go 4 if you want. So
are you saying you're going to follow me no matter what?
I mean, you or anybody. I mean, if you get in front of me, you better hope that you stay square and we're going straight to the front. I can promise you.
I thought I was special over there for a second. You were like, hey, you get in front of me, 3 wide, 4 wide, 5. I thought I was special for a second. I thought you wanted to work.
Nah, you have to make the right moves, Chris. You can't just be in front of me at the last second. We kind of have to get that lined up and talk to each other. We'll get together. We'll get together.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm not locked in just yet. I'm only 33 up, so I might go out and do a Robert Hill impression and try to just ride around and let some guys wreck before I decide to race.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're not locked in, definitely ride around it to the end. Especially it's a full distance race too, right?
Yeah, which makes it kind of hard to ride. You gotta go get those stage points.
Well, yeah, if there's stages involved, I mean, be cautious, but at the same time, understand that you got to get stage points. So I'll try to help you out. I'll try to help anybody out on Wednesday, but just know I'm going for the win on Wednesday too.
Yeah, it should be fun. Like you said, full distance here at Daytona. We got a couple. It feels like we just ran a full distance Cup race, and now we got another one coming as we get ready to wind up for the playoffs. And like you mentioned, we're going to Mid-Ohio here next week in the Xfinity car. You said you're not a good road racer. I would bet my money on it that you'll be up there towards the front and have a shot at it in Mid-Ohio.
We'll see. Top 5, maybe top 10. If my road to pro experience kicks in, maybe I'll be quick enough for it. I don't know.
All right, Garrison, congrats on the run. Look forward to running with you there on Wednesday night and watching you start the playoffs next week from Mid-Ohio. So good luck the rest of the season and chase that championship. Somebody's going to have to go and beat those Lake Norman guys like Braxton did tonight.
Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. It's a one-off deal, so I'm ready.
All right, that was Garrison Hogan. We still don't have our race runner-up, so we're going to go ahead and talk to Braxton here. We are now joined by race winner Braxton DeWeese. Braxton, I typically would ask you to give us a rundown of your night, and you can if you want to, but I want a rundown of that restart too.
Well, I just knew if I had a good restart and kept with them that I had a shot, and I'll be damned, we actually made it happen. So once I saw that, I was like, well, we got to get it on now, or this is our best shot that we have right here. The outside, if you can run it right, you can get the momentum off, and over time you'd be able to get the position, hopefully. So that's what I was doing there. I felt pretty good with the last couple laps before that caution came out, and once the caution came out and I was out in the lead, it was honestly a little bit of a sigh of relief, because you have so much control after that, and with such a little bit of time with the green white checkered. So I was just happy to be in that position, and I knew it was up to me on on that next restart, and we got a pretty good restart and drove away with it. I was just like, don't mess up. You know what you need to do, hit your marks, and you'll be good. And as long as we passed the white flag, and I felt pretty confident in what we had. So I'm just glad everything could work out. And I had to really work for that. There was a couple of times on the bottom I was really getting it, trying to, you know, get around the guy on the top side. I believe it was Chad, and it was Fody another time. So that was just an awesome battle. There was a couple bangs here and there, but we kept it straight and kept it going. And you know, that's the best racing here with Nashville and the short track racing, why everybody loves it, because there's a little bit of beating banging, but it's clean, and you know, it ain't too much. So you know, I'm just happy we could finally come out with one.
Yeah, you finally came out with one now. So are you a playoff guy? Did you make the start quota to be in the playoffs?
Yeah, I believe I was like 49 points, 40 some points going in this race. So you know, this just helped even more.
So what's your outlook here on the playoffs heading to Middle Ohio next week? What's your road course outlook? And then, of course, the rest of the round and making a run at this championship.
Well, I definitely feel like I need to make a couple more laps than a lot of the other people in here for the road courses. But that's the home track, so we got to practice and have a good showing there, and you know, have a good race in first in the playoffs. So you know, we're not too far up into the playoffs in points, so we got to make sure we get as many points as we can and do the best we can as well. So you know, it all depends on testing before during the week, and you know, getting a qualifying lap to start up front and having the pace to stay there. So you know, that's what we're going to try to do for all the races, and you know, see what happens. You know, I'm not really expecting a championship or anything, but with the hard work and whatnot, it can be done. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and Braxton, before we let you jump out of here, I want to give you a chance to shout out your sponsors and everybody who helps make it happen for you.
Yeah, for sure. Big shout out to Jane's on Main on the car. They've been on the car for pretty much the whole year. You know, it's glad to have them on board. I have Bennett's Bubba Cool, which they're pretty much like a brother-sister type company going on. Well, it's a husband-wife actual ordeal, to be honest with you now. It wasn't beforehand, but it is now. So it's pretty cool to have both of them on board with a couple of the leagues I have going on, and we're going to make a couple more paint schemes and have them on a couple more leagues. I got a league coming up on Tuesday, so we'll have something worked up for that. But big shout out to them all over there. Also want to give a big shout out to Interstate Ford, Unrivaled Photography, Allen's Arts Images, Seth Rawls Designs, Aiden's Race Days Replicas, Elite Performance Industries, 3 Wide TV, and everybody that tuned in and supported. I know my dad went live on the Facebook page, and I got pretty excited there at the end. And you know, it's pretty cool to see the raw emotion, and I didn't even know he was live. So it's gonna be pretty cool to go back and watch, even if it's just a win on a game. It's, you know, you're working hard right here, and the competition has definitely been a step up from what I've been doing. And you know, I'm glad that we could. I've already said it, but I'm glad that we could finally come out with one. And you know, I'm just looking forward to the playoffs and seeing what we can do.
Yeah, well, congrats, Braxton. And you mentioned that you finally got one. You went out there and you beat Tyler Fody on a restart when he was the control car. That's, you know, one of the best in the series. So if you can do that, you can do anything. Set your sights high, aim for that championship, and try to upset some of those guys in the playoffs. We look forward to seeing you next week at Mid Ohio and seeing you make a deep run here in the playoffs. Congrats on the win tonight.
I appreciate y'all. Come on.
Well, Carlos, we don't have Tyler Fody, and I did a bad job there interviewing Garrison Hogan. I forgot to bring up his sponsors and let him shout some people out. So I know he's got an esport team or some pro team that he runs with. So shout those guys out. I don't know what their team name is, and that's on me. I should know. Garrison's been up here and talked about him a few times. Shout out to Pro Edge for Garrison there. I know he drives over there with the Pro Edge boys.
Yeah, I see Garrison Hogan has a red number, which means that his team should be up there. I believe it's Field Up Racing.
Yeah, and then no Tyler Fody tonight. That's Lake Norman. He would shout out Blue Egg Marketing, so we'll go ahead and shout out Blue Egg Marketing. Thank all of our sponsors, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Blue Egg Marketing, TA Services, everybody at Elite Racing Network.
Oh, hold
Carlos,
on. Hate to cut you off. Johnny Thomas, if you are watching right now, go back a couple seconds. You're going to see yourself smack that wall. That's probably where you got your damage from.
Yeah, and then everybody at Elite Racing Network, you, Carlos, for coming out tonight. I know you stepped up to the plate here when Robert had to have his Canadian Thanksgiving today. well, like he had control.
Yeah.
I think it's been that way for
He's been in
hundreds of
talks
years.
with Canadian governments specifically get that one. No, but
so
yeah,
everybody in Canada
I
thank
have no
Robert for
life.
Thanksgiving today.
I have no life, so I was thankfully available to help out here. Told Chad, you can contact me if you ever need like a last minute producer.
Yeah, and then Dave Huckleberry, who keeps all this stuff in line, helps keep track of everything, and of course Chad Frankenville for putting on the league. He had a pretty quiet night, but then it got a little dramatic there at times. We saw him go Chad wide one time and spin out and whatnot. So the playoffs are set here for the Mark Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Tune in on Wednesday to see the playoffs get set for the Cup Series live from Daytona. And I believe this Thursday, the IMSA Series will kick off and have its first race as well. So something new that Elite's taking on and trying out. So tune in and see if you like it. And, maybe even if you want to race in an IMSA Series, look up Elite Racing on Twitter and see if you can see about joining. I think we still need some drivers, or we're always open to taking more drivers. So that's starting up there, and the Truck Series back at it next Sunday. I believe we have one more race before we start our playoffs. So there's still one more regular season race after Wednesday. You got the end of the regular season for the Cup Series, end of the regular season for the Truck Series on Sunday. And then starting next week here with the Mark Rebilas Series, we will be playoff racing across the board for the rest of the season. So getting ready to start heading down towards crowning the champions. So once again, thanks, Carlos, for coming out tonight. Robert, we were thinking about you tonight. Hopefully you had a good time. Got some pumpkin pie. Dave, Chad, everybody who else makes this thing happen. We will see you Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.